What's going on? Welcome back to another vlog with your boy Chris. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. Please hit the like button so that way we can push this through the algorithm. Turn on the bell notification so that way you get notified whenever these videos drop, and hit that subscribe button. Let's grow this family. Let's keep growing this channel. Keep pushing out content for y'all. This one's gonna be a juicy one, so make sure you grab your notepad and your pen and paper, all right? The things that how day trading helped me become a millionaire by the age of 23. Things that I did to allow day trading to give me the freedom that I wanted out of life. The number one thing that I'm going to say is you have to exchange your time for money. It's just the reality of it, whether it's at a 9-to-5 job or cutting grass or delivering newspapers or brushing the snow off your neighbor's car or shoveling your neighbor's driveway in the winter to make money. Whatever the case is, you need to be exchanging your time for money, because essentially to be able to succeed in trading, you need money, you need capital, you need money to be able to invest into yourself, whether it's education or whatever the case is, and to be able to keep pushing forward, right? So that is going to lead into the next thing, which is save every dollar you have. At a young age, I wish when I was 13, 14, 15, 16, I know that once I got my license, I was spending a lot of money on the car and just modifying the car and lowering the car and wheels and sound system, this, that, whatever the case is. So if I could go back, I wouldn't change any of those things, but I would definitely tell my younger self to save half of maybe everything I'm gonna spend, or a quarter of everything I'm gonna spend, whatever the case is. But definitely save, because not even in regards to a rainy day, or if you're ever going to need it in the future for savings or to pay bills or whatever the case is, but simply just to be able to invest into yourself as time goes on and as you get older. So for the younger generation, the 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, even the early 20s, save your money. Just don't, especially now more than ever, you don't have reasons to be going out and spending money uselessly. Save your money. Put it in a piggy bank, put it in a shoebox, whatever the case is. I don't really believe in savings accounts because they're just giving you like absolutely nothing percentage wise for the money that you have in there. Up. Come on, let's go. So I don't really believe in savings accounts or saving money in regards to that, but another way to make money, which I had to when I was learning how to trade, because for those of you who know my background in trading, if you don't, I would pause this and go watch some previous vlogs maybe, but long story short, I had to learn the hard way. I learned from just the market. I learned from losing money. I don't know if demo accounts existed when I got into it. I didn't get into Forex. I got into penny stocks, so I don't ever remember ever seeing anything about a demo account or practice accounts and penny stocks, so on and so forth. So I had to, eventually came to the point where I had to start selling personal belongings like shoes, clothes, whatever the case is, anything that I could sell to put a few extra dollars in my trading account, and most likely just end up losing it again. And I knew that as I was doing it, like I knew I wasn't going to, that $100 wasn't going to turn into $1 million in a week, but I just knew that I had to keep putting money in to keep expanding my knowledge and keep growing my experience in the market, and keep learning as much as I can, right? If you've noticed, ever since I got food poisoning, it's only been water. No more red cups as of now. Red cups are on hold. Next up after that is going to be investing in a skill. In regards to this, it would obviously be trading. Investing into, a lot of people have an ego, and when I say an ego, they would rather learn the hard way and lose money, which that's not something that I feel like you need to do in 2020. I feel like there's so many resources. I feel like there's a handful of reputable people that actually know what they're doing that can teach you, or have courses that already teach people how to become successful in this industry, whether it's with risk management or strategies or mixing and matching different things from different people depending on what works for you, so on and so forth. That's why with my course, when my course was available, I didn't teach one single strategy, because I've never believed in one cookie cutter strategy that's going to be able to help everybody watching this video. I always believe that you're gonna have to take bits and pieces from different strategies and create your own overall strategy and put something together that works best for you, and put something together that's going to help you in the long term. Because like a strategy might work for you short term, but then it might just be based on those market conditions, but you won't know how to adjust when the market's changing, right? So you need to find something and put something together that works for you and that you can adapt and adjust with as time goes on, and keep adding weapons to the arsenal and keep growing your experience and the knowledge in the industry. Another thing that I would recommend that definitely propelled me from being a mediocre to a very high level trader was taking profits and not being scared to close a trade if it's 8 pips in profit. And if it's 8 pips in profit and my ego being like, oh well, it's only 8 pips, and maybe it was only $10 at the time, or it was $800, or it was $1,000, whatever the case is. I was at a point, just like many of you watching this, that I wasn't happy with like 8 pips. I wasn't happy with 11 pips. But there's going to be times where like your analysis might be right to a certain extent. Like it might only be going like 10, 15 pips in your direction. And then something could happen in the market literally overnight. From one session to another, the whole market direction can change. That's why a lot of you might have a profitable trade, and then you wake up in the morning and your analysis was like 50% right or 40% right in the direction that it was going. But then something happens, whether they come in and they just want to reverse the market, or news happens, whatever the case is, something happens in the world with everything that's going on now. There's so many different things that can affect the market. So just being fluid with it and not always waiting or needing for that trade to hit your take profit, but being okay with those 8 pips, with those 12 pips, with those 25 pips, whatever the case is, because those little steps, those little stepping blocks and building blocks are going to just only add. You're only adding equity to your account balance, right? It's not like there's a negative in regards to closing a trade early. Like the worst thing that's going to happen is the best thing that's going to happen is you're going to close the trade and it's going to reverse on you. The worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to close the trade and it's going to continue, which isn't really a bad thing, because it just gives you more confidence for the next trade, for the next setup, that you're heading in the right direction, your analysis and your market vision is the right way, and you just need to keep building off of that and keep journaling it and keep growing in that direction. I definitely think that once you have a profitable strategy, you need to stick to that. You need to stick to your trading plan. Anytime I've lost money, anytime I know my students have lost money, anybody that I know in the market that's lost money, was just strictly because how cute is this guy? It was just strictly because they veered off their trading plan. They risked more than they should have on a trade. They doubled up on a trade. They added to a losing position. They move their take profit when they know they shouldn't have, because that's not what their original analysis said, so on and so forth. There's so many different ways that you can just get off of your trading plan, but you need to stick to, every rule that you have in your trading plan. That's why you have those rules. That's why you've put them in place, or your mentors put them in place, because it's just, those are things you need to apply to be able to keep moving forward in the direction that you want to keep going in. Trading plans are they're super important. They're your guidance, they're your rule book, they're the Bible to your trading that you need to follow. After sticking to your trading plan, you have to trade based on, this ties in with the one before the trading plan, market conditions. You have to trade based on the current market conditions. You can't be taking trades based off of what you think is going to happen in 2 days or 3 days or in a week or in a month or in a year, whatever the case is. You need to be trading based on the present moment. Maybe what happened yesterday, taking like the previous day into account, but the only thing that really matters is the exact same thing in spirituality, is the present moment. Nothing else is important. The past is irrelevant, the future is irrelevant, because they're both not the present moment, and that's always the most relevant and the most important thing with not just trading, with anything in life. So if there's anything that you do, is just always focus on the present moment, and don't focus on quantity of trades, focus on the quality of trades. Make sure that, like, even if you're taking 2 trades a week, they're the best, cleanest setups that you've ever seen and the cleanest setups that you'll ever take. And just really honing in on your strategy and mastering your strategy, and really pushing to fine tune it to the point where, like, you turn on your computer at a certain time because you know in the next half an hour there's going to be a setup that you like to trade. If you see that setup, you take it. If you don't see that setup, you wait till you see it, or you come back in an hour because maybe it's delayed, which happens, especially with timed setups. Or you come back later in the afternoon and you review and see if maybe you missed it and your eyes just didn't see it as it was unfolding, whatever the case is. But definitely quality over quantity, and just making sure that the setups that you're taking are setups that are going to pay money. Because the only time that people are scared to risk and scared to actually risk it for the biscuit, with no better term to say or no better way to say it, is just because they don't have confidence in their trade. When I take a trade, it's because I'm 99.9% certain that that's going to go in my direction, and the second my analysis becomes invalid, I just close it. That's it. I take the loss. It is what it is. You move on to the next setup, and life goes on, right? There's always another trade. There's always another setup. As long as you keep money in the account, you're going to keep growing it eventually. So after that, I would definitely say focusing on paying yourself, even if it's $20 a week. If you made $40 for the week, or you made $25 for the week, pay yourself $10, pay yourself $20, whatever the case is. Pay yourself something at the end of the week to reward yourself for the effort and the hard work that you've put in. No matter how small steps it is, doesn't need to be $100,000 withdrawal. You don't need to wait till you get to $100,000 to withdraw money, or $50,000 or $30,000. You need to withdraw money to reward yourself, whether it's $100 to go and buy yourself dinner on the weekend, buy you and your girlfriend, or you and your boyfriend, or you and your parents, or go and buy yourself a new pair of shoes, just to turn that hard work and all that effort that you've been putting in over time, and especially that week prior, to put it into something tangible and something that you can say like, wow, you know what, like this Fiji bottle of water that cost me $10, but you know what, I bought that with money that I made from the market. And there's nothing more rewarding than that. There's literally, it's the same thing with like anybody that's a professional in any of their industries. There's nothing more rewarding than being able to put a tangible object to the effort that you've put into something. And that's why I don't believe in material things to find happiness. I believe in material things, or whatever the case is, a vacation or a book, whatever the case is, anything as a reward to yourself for the hard work and the effort that you've put in, and just being able to put a solid object to that effort that you've been exerting and putting into something, and that energy and time and patience that you've been putting into something, and really just seeing it pay off, instead of being at a 9-to-5 job, which again, there's nothing wrong with anybody that has a 9-to-5 job, but instead of being at a 9-to-5 job and being paid minimum wage, just above minimum wage, to make the person above you and the person above them and the person above them, their pockets filled, and you're just being able to make ends meet, so on and so forth. That's why it's a 9-to-5. That's why it's called minimum wage. So I hope that this brought you tips. I hope that it brought you insight and knowledge as to how I was able to make my first $1 million by the time I was 23 years old. If you would have asked me when I always knew I was going to be successful in something. Obviously at a young age, I never really knew what. I didn't really have a direction. But as time goes on, you learn what your passions are. You learn things that make you excited and make you happy every time that you get onto them. And one last thing that I could say, I just realized that I never mentioned it when I looked back on my iPad. Don't be fooled, or don't be made to believe that you have to have an extravagant trading setup to become profitable, that you have to have a crazy trading setup to be a profitable trader. I have a stupid expensive trading setup at home with 4 screens, a crazy built tower for trading that I could probably do 1,000,001 things while I trade on it. And the truth of the matter is I barely use it. This is what I use the most, and this is what I use the second most. I use my laptop the most, and I use my iPad the second most. And it doesn't need to be a MacBook. It doesn't need to be a crazy expensive computer. It can be a $300, $400, $500 Acer or HP laptop that has the newest Microsoft or the newest Windows, whatever it is on it, and just something that's going to be able to run the software for trading, MetaTrader 4, MetaTrader 5, or TradingView, whatever it is that you use. You don't be discouraged and think that you need a crazy expensive laptop. My first laptop that I used when I got into trading was I was probably like 6 or 7 years old. It would definitely be close to like 14 or 15 years old now, 13 years old, somewhere around there. But don't be fooled by all these Instagram pictures with crazy setups, and there's no advantage to that. Maybe the advantage is that you can see a full screen of different time frames, but just as easily you can just go on your laptop or go on your iPad or go on your HP or your Acer, whatever the case is, and just scroll through the time frames and make notes as to what's going on. And then again, once you make money, if that's something that you want, reward yourself and go and buy that 2 or 3 screen setup, go and buy that. But that's not something that's a necessity to be successful in this industry. I think a lot of people are misled by that, by all these Instagram pictures and all of this, that, the other. So just wanted to make that note. I was reminded when I looked back at my setup. I am going to end this vlog here. I thank you for watching it. I appreciate your time, energy, and patience. I hope that this brought you more insight and information, how to maneuver the markets, things to apply to your life to be able to make your first $1 million in the market. Because if I can do it, anybody else can do it. I'm no more special than any of you watching this. I'm just very hardworking. I'm very dedicated. That's why I was able to go from 225 pounds to where I'm at now. It's just because I won't be outworked. I just won't be outworked. That's it. So I appreciate you. I love you. I hope you enjoyed this vlog. Bye from the two of us. Bye bye. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.